touch it. We're going to rotate it. We're going to say, yes, we understand you're messing up the isometric solution by rotating it. We're going to crop it. And we're going to double click our DBE. We're going to check box it with them big old boxes. And we're going to say, ooh. Okay. Finished. All of these stinking images. Get out of here, fast rotation. Hey, it's Steve with Entering into Space, and we're going to assemble Orion in 2025. It's still high enough in the sky that you guys can image it. And if you follow along and you're like, hey, I like that, then you still got time. Still got time. So what I did here is I've got a series of 10-second images, 60-second images, and 360 or 6-minute images. And let's just check them out here after we've done all of our pre-processing of rotating and cropping and DBEing, because gradient correction just isn't, I'm just not happy with it. So there's our 3 different images. You can tell progressively we get more data. Yeah, so that's what I decided on. 10-second. So basically 10-second, 1 minute, and 6-minute subs. And what's crazy is I've been shooting Orion now for about 8 years. And over the 8 years, I have noticed these geo satellites running across the Running Man getting worse. And this is the first year that I have not been able to fully subtract out all of the satellite trails. I could last year. This year, for some reason, couldn't do it. Yeah, it's a shame. And I know there's some scripts out there that attempt to mitigate some of this, but just it's just a shame. It's the new norm. And I've spoken with people that it's going right through a nebula. Right through Red Nebula. Orion. And that's even worse. Yeah, but the poor Running Man. It's getting shot out. Anyway, let's put this thing together, y'all. So we're going to start with our 10-second stack, substack here. Let's actually kind of move that out. You know what I mean? Like, this is the OCD kicking in right now. Is that what that is called? OCD? Yeah. ADHD? No? No? Something? I know, right? I gotta do this. Alright. Stop. Alright, so first thing I want to do is I want to put together the color image for the 10-second subs. So I'm just going to open up channel combination. And I'm going to go ahead and put the RB red, blue, green. Had it backwards there, didn't I? Oh no! I've got mouse problems. And green. So red, green, and blue, respectively. Let's just do an auto stretch. Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. We want to do a color correction. But I don't know if you noticed in the first few seconds there, I was getting that isometric solution error when I cropped these and rotated them actually. So let's go ahead and resolve it. Let's go over here to script. We're going to go to astrometry. That's where image solver is located now. My longitude and latitude are still in here, which is good. Okay. But I am going to have to search for it. Let's see, M42. And I'm doing this so I can run spectrophotometric color calibration. So the great Orion Nebula, we'll just say okay to that one. We're going to change from resolution. I found if this fails, resolution is usually the culprit. So I'm going to go to focal distance. And that is pretty much the correct focal distance. So let's check okay. See what we get. And it worked. Hallelujah. Alright, so that worked. That means we can select the background, just a sample. We can open up, go to process, color calibration, spectrophotometric color calibration. I was using this earlier, so my filters are already in here. The Antlia V Pro series. I've chosen the Sony IMX filter or sensor as the QE curve. I'm gonna click on my preview here and I'm gonna drag that preview over to from preview, so that is now embedded into that, and drag and drop. Everybody's happy on the tangent line there, so we're gonna close that down. I mean, we got a good color correction, so F12 to kill the auto stretch. Let's delete that preview. Hit the auto stretch up there again. Okay. I don't think I'm going to do any noise reduction, because really what I'm focusing on here is this core area. I don't really care much about out here, right? Because all that's going to get masked out, some of these longer exposure subsets. But I want the core. I need the core. Anyway, okay, so let's just stretch it. And remember, we're just focusing on the core, and how are we going to stretch it? We're going to use GHS, Generalized Hyperbolic Stretch. Let's do a real-time preview. So, typically, if you hadn't already been futzing with it like me, you would see something like this. If you come in here and you see this magnification at a 1, and you see your histogram peak like way over here, you definitely need to reset the black point. But a lot of times, if you hit it one time, you see how it jumps way over off the left-hand side? Let's hit it 2 times. There. So basically what we're doing is that a zoom in to the histogram peak. It is off the left-hand side, so let's come just right behind it and click right there, because we're going to reset the black point. To do that, we've selected a point here. We're going to go to transformation type. We're going to change that to linear. So now it says send to BP. So we're going to click that, send it to BP, and then we're going to hit the square to accept it. Reset the tool. So now we want to dictate our symmetry point, which is kind of just behind top dead center of this gray area. You know, you could have your red back here, your green up here, but we want to look for the gray part of the histogram peak. Come just back of top dead center. And we're just going to say send to SP. So let's come down here to the stretch factor and go ahead and start stretching. And remember, we're just focusing on the core. So if you notice, as I'm stretching here, I'm blowing out the core. And you're like, eh. So let's go to local intensity and let's chase that one. See how that pushes that down? So we're just going to kind of ride these two guys together. Right about there. What we want to see is the core. And no more. Let's select that. I like that stretch visually. Let's add some saturation to that guy. Saturate. And start stretching just a little bit. You can reset your histogram. You can see we're here. Here. I don't want to go too much. I like that. Man, that's nice looking. That's some good color. So remember, that's all we need. We need a core. Okay? So, not too, our stars weren't probably the best, but I'm not going to worry too much about deconvolution with this color data. There's the trapezium in there. I think if I would have shot like 5-second subs, that may be a little better, but 10 seconds was almost too much. Anyway, let's rename this one. We're going to name it RGB_10. So we can keep all this stuff straight. Come on, mouse. So let's go to the 10-second luminance. And with the 10-second luminance, God, my mouse. We are going to do a little bit of correction in the linear state. So let's just go in here to this preview. These stars really aren't. Well, you see I got some elongated stars here. So let's just check and see. Let's open up Blur Exterminator. We're going to set it to correction. Drag and drop. So Control Alt and Z. Yeah, it's doing enough. So, cool. Just gonna correct it. Ugh, this mouse. All right, let's delete that preview. Let's do a little bit of noise reduction mitigation on this luminance, since it is our luminance. Let's choose a preview here. We want to get like the dark space, and then we want to dive into some of the brighter, higher intensity nebulosity. Noise reduction has a new version. Took a little bit to get it in here. It didn't automatically update. I had to go and basically find the repository link and just start over with it, but it did upgrade from that. I'm not worried too much about intensity and color separation since this is a black and white image, but I am going to choose the frequency separation. I'm going to push down the high frequency, and I'm actually going to push down the low frequency a little too much, but I am going to bump up the iterations to 3. Let's go in here to the preview. I'm not looking to smooth this over like glass. I'm just trying to mitigate some of this noise. Yeah, so Control Alt and Z. That's good enough. We don't get too crazy with it. I like that. Does work a lot better. Bam. Cool. That's done. Let's close the delete the preview. Close the tool down and stretch it. Kill the auto stretch. GHS. Real-time preview. Zoom in. You see how we're kind of getting off the left-hand side with just one bump of zooming in 250%. So let's go here just behind the histogram. Change that to linear. Send to BP. Push it back. What happens if you don't do that and you start stretching like we're going to do now? Your background will start to become blown out before your fainter nebulosity is stretched properly. So again, we're going to go right top dead center, just behind top dead center of the histogram peak. We're going to choose that as our symmetry point and select symmetry point. And that's where the stretch curve comes in. We can go ahead and push that back so we can see it better. So we're just going to stretch. And we're going to use our local intensity to push it down. Remember, I'm only focusing on the core. Right about there. Yeah. Select that. Cool. Still see, we haven't blown out. We still see good star separation at the core. I'm not going to run any more sharpening right now. I'm going to do it all as a master. When I've got everything combined, then I'll just sharpen it one time. Okay, so that's our Luminance 10. So let's combine these. And using a different method. Now, I'm going to go in here to script utilities, and I'm going to go to the image blend script. This is an atom block and collaborators. I'm going to reset the tool script. So the old method was using LRGB. You take that luminance, you put it into the luminance, and you drag and drop it onto your color. It still works. I'm not knocking that, but I think this method works a little better because you have more controls over some of the parameters. So I've reset the tool from previous explorations. So your top image up here has to be your color. So that is our RGB 10. Your blended image is going to be that luminance. And it's going to be the L60 that we just stretched. So it comes default in the blending mode as replace. And you have to change that to lightness. Boom. Like I said, you got some controls. If you were to put a luminance image in and the background is stretched more, so this area is really bright, you can increase the black point, and that really kind of starts to clip it. We don't need to because we're just focusing on the core. Highlights, you push them down, it actually gets brighter. I don't know. Midtones will actually darken the image up. So like I said, we're focusing on the core. And then opacity is just what it means. you're just kind of backing off basically the strength of the luminance. I like that. I'm going to select it. Alright. So I want to rename this one because it spits out a default name of image blend. We'll call this master underscore 10. Cool. This RGB image over here, we can delete it because we don't need it no more. Master 10. Push you up there. Same thing with, let's go do the 60s. So, channel combination. You one-shot color people, I'm gonna catch up to you. I swear. You think you're something. But I'm right on your heels. Right on your heels. Okay. Let's check out the preview. It's not bad. Let's solve it. Script, astrometry, image solver. What did I do? What did I do? Annotate image. Are you kidding me? Good. Longitude and latitude are in there. Let's go ahead and search for it again. M42. Great Orion Nebula. Okay. Now you see this one is defaulting to the resolution. I find that that's really trips this thing up. I always want to make sure I'm shooting the focal length. Yeah. And I think that should work. Cool. So let's put a black point preview right about there. Process color calibration. Spectrophotometric color calibration. Drag it. Squeeze the mouse down hard so you don't let it go. Grab my mouse. And then drag and drop. Cool. Kill it. Restretch it. Let's check out the stars. Yeah, see, I'm still not... The stars are a little off. I don't think I'm going to correct it too much. Not going to worry too much about noise reduction either. Now, 60 second. What are we looking for? We're trying to get some of this area in here. 60 second sometimes... maybe needed. You do pick up some of it. You could probably get away with going from a 10 second to the 360 second, maybe. But I like to have a little in-betweener. Alright, so let's kill it. I don't know. It's just looking at it. Let's see here. GHS. Real-time preview. Zoom into the histogram. Let's go right behind it. Linear. Send a black point. Accept it. And then reset the tool. Split it. Send to SP. And stretch it. So what are we looking for now? We're still not really looking to get some of that outer, fainter nebulosity. We're still kind of focusing on the core, but we know we're not going to get the trapezium in this because, you know, we're focusing on kind of this area here. So we can be a little more stretch aggressive. So you don't want to flatten it out. You don't want to do that because to me that just you still want some luminance left in your image. That's probably a little too much. Right there. I'm liking it. Accept it. Okay, let's add some let's add some saturation. Yeah. So we're looking for saturation in some of these areas out here. The Running Man is going to really be a part of that 60 second, you know, because I think the 360 kind of blows it out. Cool. Close. All right, this is our RGB underscore 60. Yep, minimize the 60-second luminance. We're going to run a correction. Correct only. All right, we've corrected it. Let's run a little noise reduction again. I think I'm just gonna roll the dice and oops, kind of use the same 50% parameters. Maybe a little bit more on the high frequency and bump the iteration. Cool. Much better. All right, kill it. Generalized hyperbolic stretch, real-time preview, zoom into, oh yeah, just see how just one zoom in iteration really got it off the left-hand side. So come behind it, choose linear, send to BP, reset the black point. Let's set the symmetry point, and then let's stretch it. Yeah, I'm really not trying to push down that local intensity too much because I'm really not trying to salvage the core. I don't want to lose any luminosity. So that's probably pretty good. Cool. All right, so same thing. We're going here to script. Utilities, image blend, reset the tool. We're going to go for our RGB 60. There you go. We're going to go for our Luminance 60. And we got a bunch of images. And we're going to set it to lightness. Yeah, that looks really good. That looks so good. Brighten it just a little bit. Increase those midtones, give it a little more richness. Just the opacity, just a little bit. Oh my goodness gracious. Would you look at that? I say that a lot. But would you look at that? That's awesome looking. Cool. All right. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Rename it. Master. Yes. 60. All right. Master 60. Shoot up there. Delete this RGB 60. Delete. Get out of here. All right. 360. We're almost done. Channel combination. 360 red. 360 green. 6-minute blue. Cool. Close down the tool. Stretch it. Ooh, would you look at that? All right. Yeah, same thing. Same process. Script. Image solver. Search for it. Messier 42. Search. The Great Orion Nebula. Change the focal distance. It's right. Yep. And drag and drop. Oh, I can't do that. Sorry. Click OK. Cool. Let's do a background sample. Let's go in here to our color calibration. Choose the background sample, drag it over, drop it on there, go back into the image, and color correct. Alrighty. F12, and then restretch. Bam. So you see now with the color, I think I do want to do a correction on the color stars. I don't want that little bit of bleed through because these are going to pretty much be the final stars that we see after we do our masking. So I'm going to correct both of these. Oh my god, the stupid mouse. I'm buying a new mouse today. Be prepared, Best Buy. I mean, random electronic computer store. Alright, corrected. I'm not going to worry about any noise reduction, so let's stretch. GHS. Real-time preview. Look at, ooh, man, oh, see what happens and you're like, wait a minute, where's it going? Wait a minute, where's it going? That means it's so far off the left-hand side, when you zoom into it once, it's way over there. Like if you just stretch the tool out and keep going off your screen, you might find it. So you got to go back and then you got to do this micro adjustment selector. Push it over till you're zoomed in enough where you can see what's going on. Yeah, see, that one's way off the left-hand side. So right there, linear, send the black point, reset. Okay. Split it, send to SP, and stretch it. Now remember, what are we looking for now? We're looking for some of that outer nebulosity. We don't care about the core. We can push it down and kind of try to protect some of this in here. But now remember, this isn't luminance, so we're not trying to really overstretch it. About there. Cool. Alright, let's add some saturation to this bad boy. Oh, yeah. Ooh, oversaturated. Alright. Cool. I think I'm going to do a really quick noise reduction on this one. Just really quick to try to, because like I said, I'm dealing with all this. I'm salvaging this. So I'm just going to open up convolution. And just on this lower limit, so I'm just going to blur it. And you don't care because you're applying luminance to this, which gives you all your detail. So RGB underscore 360, just so I can find it in that list of images. Minimize. All right, so my 360 luminance, definitely got to correct it. Now also, the difference with this one is I am going to do some additional deconvolution on it, because it is going to, most of this is going to be in the final presentation. So I'm just going to kind of select that area there. You know, if you shoot this enough, you're going to know like where you're really seeing the details. A lot of really sharp structure in here. All this is really more passive structure in here. So we're just going to focus on this. Let's go in here to the preview. I want to grab some bright stars for sure. And reset the tool. It's a little aggressive on the star reduction. And I'm going to bump up some of the non-stellar, which is the nebulosity sharpening. Just going to see what it looks like. Yeah. Yeah. On and off. You zoom in here, there's so much cool structure. I like that. And I'm not really getting really aggressive down in here. Cool. So let's run that. Stupid satellite trails. God. Cool. Same thing. We're going to go back in here to this preview. We're going to do some noise reduction. High frequency is going to be a little more aggressive than the low frequency. Same 3 count of iteration. Yeah. Yeah. You can see. I don't know if you can see it in YouTube land here, but we're not affecting the structure much, but we are getting rid of some of that low frequency noise. So cool. drag and drop. Oh, that's so nice. So nice looking. Alright. Kill the auto stretch. GHS. Not too far. Yeah, but see. If I was to go back and then, yeah. You can definitely tell I need to work on the black point. Linear, send a BP, and then the square accepts it. Now we've moved the histogram peak back. Split it, and then send a SP. So what were we looking for? We're definitely looking for that outer, fainter nebulosity. We can kind of calm down some of the brightness a little bit. That's really going to make this fainter nebulosity really stand out from the stars. Let's accept that. So remember, we've got core replacement in here, but we've got all this great nebulosity pretty much balanced out and contrasted pretty well. Background might be a little dark, but we'll fix that in the master image. Same thing. Script, utility, image blend, RGB 360, boom. Now we're going to go to the Luminance L360. Boom. Look at that. Gets me excited. Might adjust the midpoints to give it a little more richness. What do you think? You like it? Let's accept it. Alright, cool. Yeah. Stupid star trails. Satellite trails. Stupid satellite trails. I could pull these stars, and I think SETI Astro has a script for working on this. I think I used it one time and it crashed. So I've been scared ever since. I'm pretty happy with that. Let's rename this one Master. Master underscore 360. Delete you. Okay. So those are our 3 master images. Rest of y'all, we're gonna put you in workspace 2. Get rid of you. Let's move you guys down here. Now, here is the tricky part. It's not so tricky. We want to apply a 10-second core to the 60-second image. So there are several ways to do this. Several masks you can create. You can create a game script mask and go in there and really be very detailed of the mask you want to create and binarize it and do a lot of stuff. If you open up range selection, by default, if you do a real-time preview, you're really not seeing what you want to mask, to me. So what I've found I think works the best is resetting the tool and check screen. Screen actually shows your image, right, in a black and white version. And once you push in this lower limit, you start to see the area that you're masking, which is pretty much that, right? Remember I talked about we're just the core. And then when you click the smoothness, you're pretty well. You still have a little bit of that star there, but that's going to be your mask for the 10-second core. And the next thing we can do is blur that even more to get a better transition. Let's go into convolution. Let's go up here to the top. You see we got a nice smooth, it got rid of that star. can open up curves and brighten that up to make it the mask stronger. Cool. Alright, so now what do we do with this mask? You're like, what do we do with that mask, man? Let's take our 10-second image. Let's create a duplicate of it, just so if something messes up, we don't have to go back. We're going to take our range mask. And what we're doing is we're going to cover the core. So we're going to right click on the image, say mask, and we're going to invert the mask. So now you can see all of this in red is going to be protected, right? Everything else is not protected. This is protected. So we can right click it again and say show mask. The mask is still there because our tab is burnt sienna, but this is protected. So let's apply the 60-second image. So that's kind of easy. We'll just open up a random pixel math, go into the expression editor. We can delete this star screen function that I have in there. We're going to look for master 60-second. Double click, so make sure it populates in there and click OK. For our destination, we're going to say replace. And basically what we're doing is we're taking the 60-second and we're putting it on top of this 10-second image. So there. So let's take the mask off. So now you see we got a core here. Kind of lost a little bit of the trapezium. We could work on this a little bit if we want with some HDNR, multi-scale. Let's just see. We could actually take that mask and reapply it. And let's check the mask out. So we're only working on the core. We can do a real-time preview so we can check and see what our progress is. And we're going to start at a layers of 8 to the intensity, and we want to lighten this mask. Even though we have a mask applied, we're kind of double masking. Yeah, see, that just kicks it down a little bit. Takes a little bit of the brightness away. See what it looks like as a whole. It's not too bad. Delete. Remove the mask. Alright. So we can name this one combo because we have combined the 10 and the 60. So we know what that is. Just so we know what that is. So same thing again. Now we want to create a mask. We want to obviously get our core, but we want more of this, right? Because our 360 is kind of lost some details out in some of these outer edges up here. Trying to gain some access to some of this fainter stuff. So same thing again. We're going to go to range selection, choose a screen, open up a real-time preview. We're going to start pushing down the rest of the image. We want that. Let's smooth it out. Yeah. Okay. I think that's probably smooth enough. I'm going to go ahead and plop that one on there. That's our second mask. Let's check it out. Yep. Let's invert it. Alright, so you can see what's being protected now. See, some of the Running Man is getting protected. Let's go to mask and show mask so we don't see it. Same thing. Pixel math. Expression editor. Let's get rid of this old one. And we're going to go to master 360, double click. So real simple. We're going to drag and drop. Cool. So I think what I want to do now that I've done that, as you can see, I've got my details back in here. Let's look at the master 360 without the combo. Yeah, see, we've blown all that out. Now we have it back. But But I think what I want to do to try to gain some color and richness back in this is I'm going to pull the luminance out of this master image here. I'm going to go into GHS. And I'm going to add some saturation. Probably a little bit more than the law is allowed. Right there. Okay, minimize this image. So our color image is our combo 10, and our luminance is our combo 10L. We're going to go back in here to script, utility, image blend. We're going to check for combo 10 and 60. And we're going to look for the combo 1060L. Yeah, see that just, to me, it just gives it a little more. I like these controls because I have the ability now to kind of tone down some of that muting effect that the luminance can apply at times. Cool. So there you have it. Bam. So this was the combo 10 before image blend. This is after. Yeah, this has a little more depth to it than this one does. I like that extra step. So this is our final image. What do you think? So I think we've got some really good details. We could probably sharpen this just one more time, just for sharpening's sake. Gotta be careful. I've noticed that Blur Exterminator can get a little funky in some of these bright areas, but let's run a preview in here. Let's open up Blur Exterminator. Reset it. Remember, we don't really want to jack too much. Actually, I'm gonna deviate. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do this step, and I'm having to do this step for me personally because Blur Exterminator needs a selector in there. One of these days, my video won't make it to Russell Chrome, and he'll hear my voice. But I would like for Blur Exterminator to possess the ability to not sharpen all these tiny little stars, if possible. That'd be great. Just what's brightest. So let's make a range mask. Actually, we're gonna make an ACD&R mask. Man, you're like, whoa, put your seatbelt on. ACD&R tool creates a great mask. Look at that. So we're gonna push this shadows up. So you see how it kind of starts to blur out some of those little pesky stars. We definitely don't want to push the highlights down because that's going to start bringing them back into play. Maybe not. What we're doing in a really faint manner is we're creating a mask to say the brightest areas we want to sharpen. All these areas in here with all these tiny little stars that are way off in the distance that don't need to be super sharp, we're not going to sharpen those. You dig? So we're sharpening the forefront. So close the real-time preview down. Yeah, I know you're still working on it. Let's create a clone, drag and drop. Let's apply it. Bip. To our image. Let's look at it. Show mask. Right, so we want to invert it. Invert. All right, so now you can see this is what's going to be sharpened. So let's drag a box down in here because hopefully we'll see some of this stuff not get sharpened. Let's check it out. That's a great preview. Blur Exterminator. Reset the tool. I don't really want to sharpen our stars too much more. We can a little bit. We're going to boost the non-stellar just a little bit. Probably go ahead and check luminance only. Let's see what that looks like. Alright, so Control Alt and Z. Yeah, see we're getting a little sharper in the non-stellar. Get a little more definition in here. You can see these brighter stars tightening up. They got a little halo around them. But you can see some of these duller stars like down in here. Nothing's happened to them. I don't want those to be sharp. I just don't. I just don't. I'm going to boost. I'm trying to really get this thing sharp. Now, one thing I'm noticing DBE, or excuse me, Blur Exterminator do is it actually brightens the core. So I may have to work on that core. But yeah. It's funny, we do all this stuff and then you go zoom back and you're like, can't even tell. It's called pixel peeping, I think. Let's delete that. Let's go ahead and remove the mask. Where was that little, it's our core mask here. Let's drag and drop that on. See if we can't. Let's show the mask. Show mask. Cool. See if we can't do a little core recovery. I don't want to do too much. I mean, ultimately, it's a balance. If you're just shooting the core, shoot the core. If you're trying to get a little bit of the core and all that faint stuff, at some point in time, you're going to have to kind of forego that area right in there. Because I've seen people try to flatten this out, and it just never looks really natural. But we can give it a little attention and see what happens. Yeah. Let's give it on the whole image. If it pulls it down too much and it just looks unnatural, we won't do it. Yeah, see, to me, that's kind of... Eh. Yeah. So if you don't like that, the other thing you can do is just come in here to curves. Choose your RGB. With that mask on. Oh man, what did I do? Stupid mouse. You can bump up your saturation. We'll kind of tone it down too. Maybe check your luminance a little bit. Yeah, that's probably a little better than HDMR. So you can see we've got a core. Great looking core. Remove the mask. Let's smooth it out. Reset it. We're going to do the color intensity now too. So high intensity, we're going to leave that low. High intensity color, we're going to leave it alone. The low frequency intensity, which is the background, we're going to push that down. We want to really attack that color though, so we're going to leave that alone. Bump up our iterations. Let's see what we get. Let's check it. See, we're getting rid of the noise, but we're not like completely just killing the details. I think like a lot of people, including me, have done in the past. The low frequency intensity, let's push that back up and run another variation or iteration of it. Yeah. We're getting some noise reduction, but we're not just like killing all of our details in the background here. I like it. And in this, at this perspective, you're never going to see. I mean, you could look at that and go, man, that's smooth. You know, people really aren't able to zoom in too much or going to take the time to zoom in. Only you are. All right, so this is our final image. Probably a little dark. We could probably come up in here to histogram transformation. We could probably pull in. Probably brighten up our image just a little bit. Right in there. final little tweaks. These are always these little detail tweaks that everybody goes through. Open up our curves. And add just a touch of saturation. Got a little glow to it. Got some good background nebulosity. You could probably do a star reduction on it if you wanted to, but we're going to leave this one right here. That's basically just combining the image. Stupid satellite trails. God. Yeah. Noise reduction is fairly good. Got some great details. I mean, my goodness. Cool. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you are able to use that image blend script because I think it works pretty good. I'm digging it. And especially the masking. Using that screen method in the range selection really helps to see what you're actually masking. But yeah, so get out there, you know, shoot me a message, hit me up on Facebook, let me know. I'd love to see your Orion versions, especially if you've watched this video and you're like, man, that really helped. Yeah, let me know. I appreciate that. So until next time, what's my saying? I had a saying. Oh yeah, clear skies and clear minds.